Well, here we are with another Nailsin ratings, and finally, The Walking Dead Season 8 has come to an end. And surprise, Rick and his crew won the war. And what a surprise! Negan didn't die. Yeah, well, they get a little trick there, huh? Where he slashes Negan's throat and then decides to let Sadiq save him. Much to the chagrin to Maggie. And that's about it. Yeah. Of course, Eugene redeemed himself. Surprise! He sabotaged all the bullets, which was the only way Rick and his crew would have survived, because Negan had him dead to rights. Of course, as predicted, Aaron and the Amazons showed up at the hilltop and helped save them there. And so the good guys won. But are they the good guys? Yeah, they're the good guys. And it mirrors the comic books somewhat, in that, of course, Negan survives and they will lock him up for life as a prisoner for his crimes. Meanwhile, what is different somewhat, Maggie never really liked the idea of course sparing Negan's life, but in this version it appears she's plotting to go against Rick and Michonne, and Daryl's on board with it. And oddly enough, Jesus is in the meeting there, which makes no sense at all, because he wouldn't go along with that. The Talking Dead show talked about, he was all for killing Negan. But to plot against Rick and possibly start yet another war? I'm not buying that. Did this show salvage the damage done by season 7? No, it did not. Did season 8 repair some of the damage? No, there was too many stinkers in this season, and too much evidence that they're still flailing for what to do. Obvious, and again, with the Talking Dead acknowledging, the show is going to change. It's going to change into something else and all that. They know they have to, but I'm not all that optimistic that they can pull it off. It wasn't a bad show per se. Things kind of worked out. It's just, the business of Rick sparing Negan. They bring it all the way up to the razor's edge, glass edge in this case. And is that believable in the mindset Rick is or was, especially after the scene between him and Morgan, what they did to the escaping saviors? No, it's not credible. He uses Carl's memory to lure Negan in. He used the dark side, but returned to the light side of the Force. I'm not buying it. Of course, Maggie's reaction makes sense, and of course, this sets it up for the plot where their enemies are defeated, and now they're going to turn on each other and this sort of thing. Will it go that far? Oh, you'll have to tune in to find out. It's getting harder to do. Sure is. So, boy, did they become the monsters they were trying to defeat, which was the overall theme. Where have I seen that theme before? Oh, right, throughout the entirety of the series, again and again and again. So, meanwhile, you got the mysterious people from this other place. Who have all the books on windmills and whatnot, and irrigation ideas and all, and apparently a helicopter, which, I'm just guessing that's who that is. So you got all that to look forward to, but how much you want to guess that they've got some corrupt leader or someone who's a problem? Yeah. So how long will the Civil War last? Probably not very. And if it's anything like the comic book, that Maggie's revenge on Negan is just going to fizzle. Or they could do a sudden turn, which is what they seem to do when Rick slit Negan's throat. But then, psych! No, we were kidding. He's not dead. So we'll see, and I suppose at some point they'll work in the Whisperers, but in the end, did it really repair the damage? No, they managed to stitch up Negan's throat, but had they stitched up the show? No, not really. So this is another season bruised and battered, and the show is in dire straits. So it's too bad, but there it is. It sets it up for a new direction, but is it? Again, you'll just have to tune in. So this episode gets 3 out of 5 stars. I've been kind of pampering the show, occasionally giving it more, and I've been doing that with other reviews, with like Black Lightning and whatnot. That's got to stop. They really got to deliver, even though a show shines just because all the other shows are really bad is no excuse. So, yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. And a show that might have been elevated by better shows might have gotten a higher score, but it's not. This show is in really bad shape and continues to do so. So there you go. So then it's followed by the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. Now, Fear the Walking Dead's last season had some very bright spots, most notably a show devoted to the character of Daniel. And when it comes to Fear the Walking Dead, just about all the characters could get wiped out. It wouldn't matter, except for Madison, Daniel, and Victor Strand. Those are the most interesting characters and carry the show. The kids, I'm tired of them and I don't care, and they might have a little shining moment and then it gets ruined by some lack of credibility for their motives and what have you. Here it's all about introducing the big crossover with Morgan, who decides to run away from Rick and crew because he feels he's a danger, which he is. He was losing his mind and hallucinating and all that stuff, so he just leaves. Now, everyone, I'm sure, assumed that this would be a Morgan from a previous era, and that he had met these people, and he'd be a part of the Fear the Walking Dead show, because Fear the Walking Dead is set in the past. I'm not sure exactly the amount of time. Maybe someone has nailed that down. But it's looking like maybe Fear the Walking Dead is going to jump ahead a little, and maybe we'll get some of the backstory as to where they've been and what they've been doing between last season and this one. So the entire show is basically Morgan meeting some new people, and then at the very end you meet the actual, or some of the actual cast of Fear the Walking Dead, and then I think we'll get the full story between them. Was the show any good? No. It wasn't. Fear the Walking Dead is, like I said, had some really bright spots and actually surpassed The Walking Dead, because Walking Dead had gotten so bad. And so they had some good episodes and others that just weren't so great. And, once again, doing things that push you out of the story because the plot is so unbelievable and bad. But here we had the introducing new characters where Morgan comes along, this cowboy guy. He's literally a cowboy. He's a gunslinger. He has a 6-shooter, and oh boy. And he's looking for a long-lost love who's probably dead, but who knows. And so they pair up somewhat reluctantly on Morgan's part. And then they run into some hoodlums, of course, and it looks bad. And then all of a sudden, a woman shows up to save him, and she's in this armored vehicle, and it's all rigged up with machine guns that she can pull a lever and they'll start firing and all that. Gee, what's the story behind that? Well, what's the story is the title of the show, and I suppose maybe they'll explain that later. But it turns out she's a journalist. So why did she rescue Morgan and the cowboy? Well, because she wanted to hear their story. So she has a camera that still works and interviews the cowboy, and he explains his story. He's looking for his wife or girlfriend or whatever she was. And then Morgan, of course, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's not interested. So she's working on him, It's absurd. At first, it seemed like, she saved them, And then she knew the hoodlums, that obviously she had run into them before, and it seemed like, oh, she's part of a group. And then she said, you know, I didn't just save you because out of the good kindness of my heart. So I was like, oh, she's going to bring them back to their group and put them to work or something like that. And no, she just wanted to hear their stories. Oh boy, and she's so deep, and I just want to know that story. And it doesn't work at all. It rarely do a lot of these stories where they bring in somebody who's just really deep and philosophical and searching for the greater truth and stuff. And it just fell flat. You know, once in a while they can hit. I mean, Morgan himself was in that way, but they explained it, you know, and he's still going. By the way, he's not hallucinating anymore because this is in real time now. This isn't, unless they did a little switch here, because at one moment he's wearing a shirt. No, it's not right. He explained, he just described to them the war that just happened. So let me strike that, because for a minute there he was in a shirt, and the next minute he was in his jacket, and I thought, oh, did they cut time here and he's in the past, whatever. No, this is the current Morgan. So, okay, I kind of slipped up there. Where's his hallucinations? He's not in any position, but you know, it seems like he would freak out again, but oh well. So they have a big battle scene with the thugs, and with Althea's her name, the mysterious journalist woman, played by Maggie Grace from Lost. And they have a battle in the trailer park, and so the trailer trash zombies break out and all that, and I guess they were trying to make them look particularly rotten, but they needed some, like, maybe thinner people or something, because I don't know, the makeup job didn't look so great. But so there they go. Of course they survive, and Morgan's still kind of nutty, but they're going along, and he's all right. We're a gang now. But when his leg got shot, so when it heals, he'll leave. But they just needed a better scenario and explanation for Maggie Grace's character, and kind of tone Cowboy down from being like right out of the Wild West. And no, and it would have worked. But anyway, so they run into the real cast of Fear the Walking Dead after they get fooled by them, and leaves you hanging there for the next episode, which will probably give you some backstory on how they ended up here, I guess. Unless they're just going to say, well, some stuff happened, and now we're a couple of years caught up with the other show. I don't know. But with bad characters here like this, and undeveloped, and just sort of thrown in and slapped in, the show can't keep going on like that. Because I hear there's rumors saying, hey, we might look at other countries and stuff like that. Yeah, so what? If just to do the same thing, they're flailing, and I'm not convinced that they've got any other plot ideas that are all that new and different, unless they want to explore the virus. They still could, but with damaging seasons like this, it's probably already too late to even bother. So there you go, Walking Dead Season 8 final, and now Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 premiere, which got off kind of to a bad start like Season 3 did. But that doesn't mean it's going to be bad, because Season 3 had some gold in there, especially, like I said, the Daniel episode. But that first episode of that one was, woo! Season 3's opening was really bad, but this one, it was just kind of stupid. So, check back Sunday, we'll find out where it's going. All right, thanks for listening and watching. Do check out the link description below for my mini stores, and why not drop a like and subscribe? You know, be nice, please. Thanks.